Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be unboxing this Bluedio T4 Bluetooth wireless headset. So, let's get right into it. Now, I've actually wanted to buy one of these guys a long while ago. When I was looking for a wireless pair of headphones, I came along Bluedio, where I found them selling local. Not just online, but yes, they also sell local. They sell on Amazon, eBay, you name it. They're everywhere now. And at the time, there was the T3 model, but now there's the T4, which does look a lot better from the pictures. So yeah, let's get right into it. So the box is very simple. On the outside, there's just a cover, and this is what it looks like all around. And you got some information here. So we have Bluetooth 4.2, which is pretty up to date. The drivers are 57mm, so they're quite large. And according to this, we should have around 16 hours of playtime. And seems like it has active noise cancelling, remote call, which means it has a microphone, and a bunch of different buttons and functions on the headset itself. So you got this little piece of tape right here. And this should come out something like this. Alright, so we got a T4 logo right there. It's pretty shiny. Got some magnetic clips. So far so good. Alright, take the plastic out. Here we have the headsets themselves. So this looks pretty awesome. It feels pretty nice and weighty. The pads do feel nice, and it does have pretty nice padding on the top. Moving on inside here, we got a goodie box and a manual, and that is actually about it for the box. It's actually a pretty good box to store this thing in. Let's quickly take a look at the manual here. Alright, just some very simple information. It's in English, which is good. And then we open up the box here. And inside the box, we actually get a Type-C to 3.5mm headphone jack. And this Type-C actually goes into here. And then next up, we have a Type-C charging cable. And this is the type of rubber design that doesn't slip and it does not tangle, which is really good. Next up, seems like lastly, we have this really weighty velvet pouch. It feels really nice. I gotta say, I could almost sleep with it. Just fill in with some feathers and you got yourself a pillow. I'm kidding, but this actually feels really nice and high quality. I gotta say, the pouch, 10 out of 10 right there. Alright, now let's take a look at this headphones. First, let's get some feel therapy. Alright, so we get this glossy kind of texture. So it does look like metal, and I think there's a kind of a plastic or glass layer on top. It's probably plastic, with a metallic texture on the bottom. The Bluedio logo has this rainbow effect when you shine it into the light. So these can fold all the way around 360, just like so. So you can have them blasting outwards or resting on your shoulders. The padding here feels really nice. It's kind of like memory foam. Inside we do have covering, so another velvet kind of texture in the bottom here. And the top here, it's actually pretty interesting. You guys know how those Siberia headsets work, where they have a band in the middle? The band is actually inside of this padding here. And you can kind of see it here. There it is. And that's what kind of gives you the cushion along with some padding inside of here, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and measure this thing. And it weighs 340 grams. Now there's one more thing I want to show you guys, and that would be the clips on the side here. So you also have ridges, and they're all metal labeled. They're not painted on, they're not printed on. They're actually indents in there. So it also feels really nice and satisfying. Pretty nice and solid, so it's going to keep its position with no problem. Should be. Alright, let's go ahead and turn it on, pair it up, and try it out. Let's go. Alright, and we are back. So fast forward 2 weeks, and I have got a chance to test this thing out and see what it's all about. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Let's first talk about the build quality. So far, it has been a pretty good headset, and I have dropped it on hardwood floor as well as on carpet, and nothing broke. Everything is still fine. If you're wondering about the metal, it's completely solid. It's not going anywhere, and again, it feels like metal and it's not aluminum, because you can tell from the weight and the kind of feel it gives you. And it is very flexible, so it's not going anywhere. It's not breaking. Don't worry about it, and do not worry about dropping it. Just don't drop it on concrete or gravel, because obviously this thing is going to get scratched up and you're not going to like it. But it's going to survive. Now you're probably asking, how good is the audio quality? Well, the audio quality is typical of a Bluetooth headset. The bass here is nothing crazy. It's perfectly normal. Nothing too high, nothing too low. It's just neutral. So if you like a lot of bass, you probably want to use an equalizer on this thing. Or maybe get the T3, because that's what I've heard, that the T3 has a better bass response. But other than that, the volume levels, this thing can actually get really loud. And most of the time I was running at 50% volume or so, because this thing can get extremely loud, and that is nice if you are a person who likes to just blast this thing at 100%. Now, when using this thing with Bluetooth, you're going to encounter one thing, and that would be delay. So if you're using this on your phone, especially on your phone, you're going to see a whole lot of latency. So you're going to notice it when someone's talking in a video, and it's going to come very late to your ears. So If you want to use this thing to watch movies, you can still do that, actually, with the included USB Type-C to 3.5mm cable, which is a 1 meter long cable, and it is very nice and high quality. And you can still use it for your PC if you really want, which is nice, which means you don't have to use this thing only in Bluetooth. You can also use it with a direct connection. So for Bluetooth, it is good for music as well as podcast and anything that doesn't require video. Now let's talk about how easy it is to connect and use. It's actually fairly simple. Everything is on the right side. You can tell that it's the right side from right over here. It says right and left on each side. And what we have here is a very simple and straightforward button layout once you understand what everything here does. So first is you're going to notice this thing right here. You're probably going to think that this is the power button, but it's actually not. This in fact is a dedicated noise cancelling button or switch. And as soon as you turn that on, noise cancelling will take about a second and then it will kick in, and then certain sounds, low frequency sounds, will disappear and it will be replaced with some kind of unique waveform. And they cancel fairly well. I mean, I have tested it in my room and there were some humming noises that have just disappeared when I turned on the noise cancelling. I've also tested it with an airplane video, so an airplane humming noise, and I listened to this thing and it also takes quite a bit of that noise away from you. But what it also does take away from you is some bass and some response. So if you want to use the noise cancelling, I would recommend using it when you really want to just cancel out other noises or while listening to podcasts. But if you're listening to music, the noise cancelling might take away from the experience just a tiny bit. And if you're wondering, yes, you can actually use this cable with the noise cancelling here, which is really cool. In fact, you don't even need to plug it in or pair it up to use the noise cancelling. You can notice how it works just by putting it on and turning that dedicated button right on. Of course, you got the dedicated LED right on top of here, letting you know that the noise cancelling is on. And on the left here, we have the regular button that you have on your headphones. That is the pause play button. And over here, we have the volume up and down, as well as the pairing / power on button. So once you hold that down, you'll hear it say power on, pairing, connected, whatnot, ready to connect, and an LED indicator right over there. So you can hear it tell you what's happening when it is trying to pair up or connected or whatnot. Now let's talk about the comfort level. So for me, I am used to wearing headphones with over-the-ear design. And these ones are kind of in the middle. They don't know where to sit on my ears. Maybe I'm just really used to those Sennheiser headphones because they feel ultra comfortable. But these ones, I kind of have to play around with them to have them positioned correctly. So what I do is I drop them down like this and pop them out like that, and then I get a nice fit. Now I had a bunch of different people test it, and they said it's pretty good. The comfort level is pretty decent. So that's cool. So again, these are kind of the middle of over the ear and on the ear kind of headphones. It really depends on how big your ears are. Mine are pretty average, but again, these kind of sit in the middle here. Now one thing about the design here would be nice if they had more leeway towards the inner side. So you can rotate them like that, you can rotate them upwards and inside out and whatnot, but it kind of stops right over here when you're trying to pull them in like so. So comfort level wise, pretty decent for these pair. And finally, battery life is pretty good. I still have not drained them completely. It's taken forever, but I can assure you that these are going to last at least 2 days if you're running them around 50% volume, but they will definitely surpass a whole day of heavy use. And one last thing is, can we talk about this velvet pouch and how awesome it is? I mean, guys, this is the most comfortable, the softest pouch I have ever laid my hands on. And this is just amazing. It's such a nice material they chose. This is a really nice pouch to store your headphones in, and I really appreciate the inclusion of this inside of here. So in conclusion, what do I think about these guys? Well, they are actually a pretty decent pair of headphones for Bluetooth wise. The sound quality, of course, is typical of Bluetooth headphones, but they do have a pretty decent punch bass, and the noise cancelling actually works surprisingly well, which is pretty impressive. And I like how it has a single switch to turn it on and off. Very simple, very straightforward. And yeah, guys, these things can actually get very loud. In fact, so loud that you can just have them on max volume and lay them on your chest, and you can still listen to the music while listening to your surroundings. So pretty cool, pretty awesome pair of headphones. The build quality is pretty solid. Tested it, dropped it twice, didn't break. And yeah, guys, that is actually pretty much it for this video. So if you're looking for a pretty decent pair of headphones, you probably can find these on Amazon. I'll leave links for those in the description, or at your local store, eBay, or whatever, because Bluedio is all over the place, which is nice and accessible. So guys, that's actually pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.